12 football moments you'll laugh at. Having a bad day? These are the 12 most hilarious moments in football that, on one hand, might make you feel sorry for the player, but on the other hand, it's impossible not to smile at their funny actions. From goal celebrations going wrong to defenders and goalkeepers making a mess in the defense, these types of moments are meant to happen. Number 12. We kick off with the whistle blow of the referee in the match between Tottenham and Crystal Palace, but this time, his whistle was meant to mean that before the start of the match, players could take a knee to support the anti-racism campaign, but two players were too ready for the game. However, Christian Benteke was already running to get a pass from, no one, and Tottenham's winger Sung Min followed him. Before they both realized it, they were in Wonderland. Play hasn't started, and even when both players noticed their teammates, they stopped and also took the knee, but it was already too late. It was already too funny of a scene for Wilfried Zaha in the crowd. Number 11. But guess who wasn't laughing? Batshuayi. The striker made the best strike of the match, but it ended up hurting him. It all began in the game between Belgium and England, and Belgium's midfielder Januzaj opened the scoring in the 51st minute with a beautiful long-range shot, and his teammate Batshuayi, full of joy, decided to celebrate the goal in a conventional way by taking the ball in his hands and striking it hard against the goalpost, but this time it wasn't a great idea. The batsman had zero awareness of his shot, and the ball bounced right back into his face. Call it friendly fire, just like this top 10 moment, but this time it wasn't a ball. Number 10. It all started with a friendly collision between two Bochum players that resulted in both players falling to the ground and needing medical assistance. Then that's when the bigger drama began. Bochum's team doctor running into the field to save the day couldn't save his foot from inflicting more damage to the head of the already concussed player. Poor fellow. First, he bashed into a teammate, and then the team's doctor rushed so quickly to him that he forgot he wasn't wearing cleats and didn't have the necessary traction on the grass to stop his leg from hitting the player. You might be smiling, but the player wasn't. And look at another player who wasn't finding it funny. Number 9. This was in Germany, not the Bundesliga, but the third strongest German football championship. During a match, Vecta's footballer was in a tussle with a defender, and when the ball went out of bounds out of frustration, the Croatian first kicked a triangular advertising board and then a second one, which flew straight into Marcus Ballmer's path, knocking him down. Although the Croatian apologized for his actions, the game continued, but it looked amusing to the fans. Number 8. Even more amusing to the fans was when a player's wish to celebrate with the fans turned into a nightmare. A beautiful attack where a winger passed to a second-tempo player who scored a great goal, but his celebration could be mildly termed as hazardous. He wanted to jump over the barrier but unfortunately injured himself. I think if he wants to celebrate in a similar way in the future, he should take a few lessons from basketball players who easily jump over such obstacles. Number 7. The next anti-hero of the video is Czech defender Pavel Kudryavtsek from Hoffenheim. After a cross from the edge of the penalty area, the ball flew over everyone and headed towards the Czech. He, in turn, didn't take a defensive position and didn't decide how he would clear the ball, with his foot, hand, or head. While he was contemplating, the ball hit him in the head and rolled into the goal net. Quite strange actions from the Czech, but he gave us a moment to laugh at. And if this video has put a smile on your face, do give us a like and subscribe to the channel. This would also make us smile. Number 6. Now you will see not only the most absurd simulation in football history, but also the biggest diver. Spoiler alert, he is Brazilian, but it's not Neymar this time. In the closing seconds of the match, Brazilian player Daverson engaged in a scuffle with a Flamengo player, but the referee quickly diffused the conflict. Daverson started moving towards his own half of the field, but then felt a touch on his back from someone else's hand and fell to the ground, writhing in pain. It's clear that in this way, the Palmeiras forward wanted to earn a red card for the opponent's team, but it didn't work out in this situation. The hand that barely touched the player's back was the referee's. This has become a staple for Daverson. Here are a few more amusing simulations from this player. Here, he barely survived a touch from another player, but when he saw that the referee wanted to give him a yellow card, he suddenly recovered. And here, he pretended to be hit by a ball thrown at him. In my opinion, such things tarnish modern football. What do you think? Write it in the comments. Number 5. Apart from his famous bites, Luis Suarez has had many amusing moments in his career. For example, at the presentation of the Golden Boot in 2017, the event was so boring that Messi's son Thiago couldn't sit still in his chair, and Luis Suarez came to his rescue. He started making faces and gestures which entertained the little boy, while Messi didn't notice it. Number 4. Not for this moment, it got noticed. It was called Grandpa's 3 yellow cards. In 2006, during the FIFA World Cup in Germany between Australia and Croatia, English referee Grandpa mistakenly showed 3 yellow cards to Croatian defender Josip Šimanić before finally sending him off. The first yellow card was given in the 57th minute of the match when Šimanić fouled an Australian player. Then, Šimanić committed another foul and Paul again showed him a yellow card. But he accidentally wrote the yellow card for the Australian player with the number 3 jersey as Šimanić because he thought Šimanić was an Aussie player. Besides, no one complained that Šimanić wasn't sent off and play continued. Only for Šimanić to make another reckless foul again and receive his 3rd yellow card, and this time he was not that lucky. Football analysts worldwide ironically commented on this situation, and Grandpa became a laughingstock and the subject of numerous memes. Number 3. The next funny moment happened with the goalkeeper of Botafogo, Lucas Perry. A player from Internacional shot straight at Lucas and he managed to deal with the shot, but then an incredibly comical scene occurred. The poor goalkeeper lost sight of the ball. He danced around the penalty area but couldn't figure out where the ball was. Eventually, the opponent quickly took advantage of the situation and sent the ball into Botafogo's net. You could see the disappointment in the goalkeeper's eyes. Number 2. From goalkeeper to goalkeeper, let's move to the English Premier League, where I would tell you what David De Gea's biggest fear is when playing for Manchester United. It was Harry Maguire. Maguire really tested David's nerves and gave him nightmares when they played together. One was a match against Atletico. Harry decided to show off his outstanding dribbling skills and started running with the ball from an attacking opponent just 10 meters from Manchester United's goal. But when Maguire realized that he wasn't as good at dribbling as he thought, he immediately passed the ball to De Gea. The pass was very risky and the goalkeeper barely cleared the ball from his penalty area. As a result, the ball ended up with an Atletico player who took a dangerous shot, but De Gea managed to handle it and started shouting at Harry Maguire. There were many such mistakes from the defender. Apparently for this reason, in the game against Norwich, instead of passing to Harry, De Gea kicked the ball out of play. You can understand the Manchester United goalkeeper, but such mistrust looks very comical. Another episode happened in the tunnel area. Once, Manchester United's captain misplaced his team, and David had to explain to Harry that they needed to switch places with the opponents. In the end, Maguire did comply with the Spaniard's request, but look at how awkward he was. Number 1. It seems like something funny always happens to goalkeepers because the top number 1 funny moment has to deal with a goalkeeper. In a game against Real Madrid, Cameroon's goalkeeper received a pass from a teammate and wanted to kick the ball as far away from the goal as possible. But suddenly, he missed the ball, fell to the ground, and the ball went out for a corner kick. On replay, it became clear that a plastic cup in the ball's path caused this mishap. The ball hit the cup and bounced up while Onana missed it, and Real Madrid players got their corner kick. Imagine how frustrating it would have been for Ajax if Real had scored from that corner. That's all, friends. I hope we put a big smile on your face. For another football moment you'd love, click on the video showing right at the top. See you there.